Have you ever pondered the profound impact war has on the most vulnerable among us, our children? It's a harrowing thought, isn't it? War, in all its brutality and chaos, doesn't discriminate. Take, for instance, the fraught conflict involving Israel, where numerous war crimes have been reported. Beyond the visible horrors, there were instances of bombing civilian-populated areas, a clear violation of international humanitarian law. In this ravaging conflict, not even the brave journalists, our eyes and ears on the ground, were spared. People Yasser Murtaya, a Palestinian journalist who wore a vest marked press, yet fell victim to an Israeli sniper, and Ahmed Abu Hussein, another journalist who met a similar fate, became tragic icons of this conflict. Their untimely demise shocked the media community, casting a pall of fear and uncertainty. Additionally, there were alarming allegations regarding the use of illegal weapons, further escalating the severity of the conflict. The disproportionate use of force was also a significant issue, with the impact predominantly affecting innocent lives. This warfare leaves a trail of destruction that reaches far beyond the battlefield, curbing the freedom of press and silencing the voice of truth. The world mourned the loss of these courageous journalists, a solemn reminder of the perils faced by those who dare to bring us the truth from war's front lines. The story we're delving into today is a testament to this unfortunate reality, highlighting the broad-reaching human costs of conflict. In the midst of this devastating conflict, a flicker of hope emerged in the form of men and women, ordinary people who chose to walk into the heart of danger. These are the aid workers, the unsung heroes of conflict zones. They risk everything, their safety, their comfort, even their lives, to bring aid and comfort to those caught in the crossfire. Their dedication and sacrifice often go unnoticed, their stories untold. It's a dangerous job, one that requires a certain kind of courage and unwavering commitment. The Israel-Gaza conflict was no different. These brave souls worked tirelessly, navigating through bombed-out buildings and war-torn streets to reach those in desperate need. They provided food, water, medical aid, and a comforting presence amid the devastation. They saw firsthand the cost of conflict, the lives shattered, the homes ruined. Yet they pressed on, driven by a deep-seated belief in humanity and compassion. Their stories are a testament to the strength of the human spirit, a beacon of hope amidst the despair. As we delve deeper into this conflict, let us remember these heroes, for they remind us that even in the darkest times, there is light, there is hope, and there is the capacity for extraordinary kindness. Our tale begins in late 2023, in the midst of the Israel-Gaza conflict. It was a time of heightened tension and aggression, with the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs launching a campaign that saw ads justifying their air bombardment of Gaza pop up on platforms like YouTube and Angry Birds. As the conflict continued, the casualties started to mount. Among these were over 2,750 Palestinian civilians, a number that is as staggering as it is tragic. But sadly, that number is to rapidly grow. As the conflict spilled over into the digital world, controversy and concern began to arise among users. Many platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, decided against hosting these government ads. Meanwhile, on the ground, the situation was escalating, with reports suggesting that Israel was preparing for a ground invasion of Gaza. As the world watched the conflict unfold, a wave of solidarity began to rise. From London to Sydney, from Cape Town to New York, people took to the streets chanting, "Free Palestine." This was not just a call for an end to the violence, but a demand for the recognition of Palestinian rights to self-determination and freedom. A shift in the global narrative was palpable, as the world began to question its silence and inaction. Amidst the cacophony of voices, one message was clear. It is not enough to merely condemn, we must also act. Cities worldwide echoed with the sounds of protest, reminding us that the human spirit, when united, can be a formidable force for change. In parallel, across the Atlantic in the United States, the conflict was fueling an increase in hate crimes and harassment against Muslims and Jews. The impact was such that the Department of Justice had to step in to investigate a hate crime where a Palestinian-American child was fatally stabbed by his white landlord in Chicago. This was just one of the many incidents of anti-Palestinian violence and anti-Semitic acts reported across the country. Protests and clashes erupted, turning city streets into miniature war zones. As the violence raged on, various organizations stood up to condemn the targeting of Muslim, Arab, and Jewish Americans. They emphasized the need for unity against bigotry and violence. But the damage was already done. The children caught in the crossfire, both in Gaza and the United States, had already witnessed and experienced things that no child should ever have to. As we come to the end of our journey today, it's crucial to remember that these are not just numbers or stories, but real lives that have been irrevocably altered. So, what can we do? How can we help change the narrative? The answer lies in awareness and action. Consider contributing to aid organizations that work tirelessly to provide support and relief to those affected by these conflicts. Share this story, talk about it, and make sure it doesn't disappear into the abyss of forgotten news. Because only by shedding light on these issues can we hope to prevent future generations from bearing the brunt of wars they didn't start.